Find the equation in standard form for each line that satisfies the given conditions. We want a line to be perpendicular to 5x minus 2y minus 4 equals 0 and contains the point negative 3, 5. In order to find a perpendicular line, we need to know what the slope is. To find the slope, we need to isolate y. So we can add a negative 5x and a positive 4 to both sides of the equation. We now have negative 2y is equal to negative 5x plus 4. We still need to isolate y, so we can multiply both sides of the equation by negative 1/2. On this side of the equation, we have two terms. Both terms must get multiplied by negative 1/2. Negative 1/2 times negative 5 is positive 5/2 x. Negative 1/2 times positive 4 is negative 2. We now have y is equal to 5/2 x minus 2. The slope for this equation is 5/2. But the instructions for this problem says find a perpendicular line. So we're going to use a slope which is the opposite and the reciprocal of the slope given. We'll use the point-slope form to find this equation. Recall, point-slope form is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. Filling in the values, we have x sub 1 is negative 3, y sub 1 is 5. And the slope that we need to use for this new equation is negative 2/5. Let's clear parentheses. And first let's change the subtraction to adding the opposite. Negative 2/5 times x is negative 2/5 x. Negative 2/5 times positive 3 is a negative 6/5. Y minus 5 is equal to negative 2/5 x minus 6/5. Let's clear fractions. We can multiply both sides of the equation by 5. And when I use the distributive property, that means I'm going to multiply each term by 5. And I can reduce to clear out my fractions. I now have 5y minus 25 is equal to negative 2x minus 6. To put this equation in standard form, we need the variables on the same side of the equal sign. So I can add 2x to both sides of the equation. And I need the constant on the other side of the equal sign, so I can add 25 to both sides of the equation. We now have 2x plus 5y is equal to 19. This equation is in standard form. Integer coefficients, and the x integer is actually positive. Constants on the other side of the equation. And this line, the equation of this line, is perpendicular to the other equation, 5x minus 2y minus 4 equals 0.